The new Sulu has lost his daughter. Where is Margot? Searching, directed by Anis Gigante, starring John Cho as Daniel Kim. John Cho is the actor that plays Sulu in the new Star Trek movies. He plays a single father, Daniel Kim, who has a teenage daughter. And what happens is Margot Kim goes to a study group, but she never comes back home. Daniel files a police report believing that she's gone missing. A detective is assigned to the case, Detective Vic, played by Deborah Messing. This movie is shot from the perspective of a laptop. Mostly this movie is shot from Daniel's laptop and from the perspective of the internet. You get to see him use Skype, Google, Facebook. So this movie is kind of like Unfriended, only it's actually a good movie, where both of the Unfriended movies were bad films. And Daniel Kim is doing his own detective work in order to find out what happened to his daughter. David Kim has a brother in the movie named Peter, played by John Lee, and that's pretty much our movie. Now, when I saw the trailer for this film, I was really intrigued despite the gimmick with this movie. This was a really good film. John Cho is excellent in this movie. He really does a good job playing a dad that will do anything necessary to find out what happened to his daughter. Michelle La, who plays the teenage daughter, Margot Kim, is really good in the movie. Deborah Messing, I thought was great as the detective. The movie does a really good job of giving you a list of suspects and making you think, oh, maybe it's this person, or maybe it's that person. And as the movie progresses, the movie goes through these twists and turns and actually becomes very unpredictable, which is awesome. The person you think is the culprit, it may not be the culprit, and the person you don't think is the culprit may actually be the culprit, and that was so cool. I really liked this movie a lot. I was on the edge of my seat through this movie, and I didn't really mind the gimmick. They really do a good job using the internet gimmick. They do a really good job using the gimmick of a laptop perspective to their advantage, and using all these different websites to their advantage, even though much of this movie feels like commercial for all these different websites, Facebook, Google, Skype, and any other website that shows up on this movie. The direction from Anis Gigante is excellent. There are points in this movie where it's not always from the laptop. You do see media footage, which really helps telling the story as well. So let's get into the negatives, because I pretty much have gone over all the positives with this movie. There are very few negatives with this film. I think really the only negatives is maybe there are maybe a couple plot holes in this movie, which I didn't mind. When the outcome comes out and you find out who the culprit is and you find out what actually happened to Margot, some of it does feel a little bit unrealistic or unbelievable, but there are other parts of it that actually do feel very believable and actually do feel very realistic, because some of this stuff could actually happen, considering how the internet can actually fool us. I really, really like this movie. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. The suspense in this movie is so good. This is a parent's worst nightmare. And this movie does a really good job getting you invested with the characters in this film, despite the gimmick. It actually does a very good job using the gimmick to its advantage and everything. Before the movie begins, there is a short film which is pretty funny, but the acting in the short film wasn't that good really from the main character in that film. But that has nothing to do with the main film, Searching. This is excellent. Definitely see Searching. I'm going to give this movie an A. Definitely check this movie out. This movie is playing at both theaters in the Worcester area. It's playing at the Showcase North and at the Blackstone Valley Theater in Millbury. And that's all I got to say for this film.